okay, forget everything else. Money doesn't matter. Let's focus on art. But what
Right.
happens over there is that money does matter because you can't build a structure without the stability. Whenever somebody is building an organization that is trying to promote anything, and especially when it's trying to promote the arts, you got to identify what is going to source the financing of that, right? Because I mean, at the end of the day, that's the thing, right? Like we until we understand the significance of these outputs, until we understand the significance of art and the effect that it has on our emotional state, on our physical state, that seesaw can't be corrected. Um,
But do you think the seesaw can be
we will
corrected
continue to face this issue.
with proper policy implementations? And if those are, because you are such a seminal figure in organizing an entire culture in Delhi and almost inspiring other people across the country to be able to do similar things, if you were given the power to create a policy, what would it look like?
Okay. So there are two things that I would approach. The first is at a quick fix, and the quick fix is, it would be at the policy level. The first is a artist registry. The minute that comes in, then there needs to be a structure and a system in place to help categorize artists in terms of what they do, and help different support systems for each of these verticals. Right? Policy implementation means a long conversation and a long time. But what's easy is a very strong CSR push. So the government can say that, all right, you put, say, I think it's 2% of revenue is supposed to go to CSR. I don't remember the exact numbers. You push that up to a 7 or an 8%, and you expand the definition of activities that can be considered under CSR. And you put safeguards and watchdogs to ensure that that money isn't being sort of misused. That's a very simple way to immensely boost the industry. Look at NCPA, man. What a phenomenal! It's literally run by Tata CSR money, if I'm not mistaken. This can be corroborated and corrected. Yeah, and just that one, though it's one of the biggest organizations in this country, but just that one company is able to create one of the best infrastructures in the country and has access to bringing in world-class programming simply because that is the actual amount of money available. The Indian, the average Indian is not earning a lot of money, but the 1 percentile is turning some serious coin. And if a decent amount of the money, if a respectably small amount of that money, it doesn't have to be like an obnoxiously large percent. A single percent increase from 2 to 3 is a 50% increase, which can significantly make an impact to what's happening in this country. So that the first problem, for the first task, the short fix is a compliance fix. Then create a separate category for the people who are promoting arts organizations. For example, we fall under a F&B space, right? But ideologically and through action, our priority lies with the execution of art. Yeah. But there is no recognition of that as a category in the options available to us. Because if we take a license as a theater, then we can't sell F&B, which is what gives us our revenue. And if we take a license as F&B, then we are categorized into a group of products which we aren't. It's all led by government classification because that's what people will follow. So anyway, that's a long answer to the first part of that question. The second part of the question stems down to what you mentioned earlier, empathy. The only way that we can actually start fixing the problem at a very, very organic level is for people to be brought up with the right kind of education. Something that's based in fact and science and empathy. Right? So that's a much bigger biscuit to bite. But until we have global education reform, this world will not improve. And I get up at 8 in the morning, which is about an hour earlier than I usually get up, and I have a mail in my inbox from Chick Korea, which has his phone number. And I'm like, holy shit. So I just sat up and I called him. And I'm like, hi, sir, this is Arjun Gupta from the Piano Man. I got your mail. And we proceeded to have like a 45-minute long conversation in which we disagreed about a lot of things, man. We disagreed about the relationship between an artist and an audience. because I said that, in this country, like it becomes a venue's responsibility to sort of create the right kind of space. And Chick
Yeah.
came more from the perspective of the artist has to connect with the audience. And so, but it was a great conversation. We spoke about a bunch of things. And when it ended, I put the phone down. I was like, boss, ye to nahi aayega. But like just a couple of minutes later, he shot out a mail to everyone saying, let's do it. And that's when we sort of sprung into action. And for us at the venue, it was really interesting because you've obviously heard the stories about how we had to get the piano in and all that.
Yeah.
It was amazing. Yeah. But the thing that I wanted to tell you about this is when he actually came to the venue. So I had said something very simple. I said, listen, the stage is yours. We'll take care of all the organization that's required. You want to play one song, you play one song. You want to play another. So that's our policy with all artists. If you're uncomfortable on stage, get off the stage.
Yeah.
Right? Don't worry. It's not going to affect your relationship with the venue. At the end of the day, you have to feel that you want to be on stage. And that's why we put in so much effort into taking care of the artists from the minute they walk into the club. Same thing with Chick, he came and there was a full menu plan that came because he's very particular about his diet. He doesn't eat spices. He doesn't eat like salt. He doesn't eat sugar. So we prepared everything that he had sent. And we also prepared a bunch of stuff that we wanted him to try following his sort of dietary restrictions. We're like, sir, you've come all the way here. We don't want you to eat stuff that you eat every day. We want you to try something, and he was a good human being, man. He spoke kindly, no airs, no ego, eye to eye contact. He performed almost a little over 2 hours, by the way. And then after he finished his performance, he met every single person. He was sitting in the green room, and just because I didn't want there to be like a stampede, so we took people in for 5-6 people at a time, and everyone, man, like every single person that.
This is the story. I live close to Safdarjung only, and I studied in Ashoka University, so it's in Sonipat. So I used to take the Horsecars metro directly to Jahangirpuri, and then we used to have a shuttle there. And that shuttle would take us to campus. So it was about 7:30 in the evening or something. And I take this metro and I'm on my way. And I've reached Delhi University. I've reached Vishwavidyalaya station. And Syed Sinha has texted me that sab kuch chhod ke piano man aaja. So at that moment when the doors of the
from Vishwavidyalaya.
No, so I just got out, okay? I just got out and I called him. I said, kya ho raha hai? So he said, Chick Corea is performing at Piano Man. So I said, no way he's performing at Piano Man right now. Like, I would have known. I'd follow there. I look at their...
No, we didn't publish the gig. Yeah.
Exactly. So he's like, no, he's performing, aaja. So I was like, aise kaise aa jaun? So he's like, he sent me your number and he said, ask him. So I said, the gig is in like half an hour. He'll be sitting with Chick Corea. What will I ask him? Like, he's not going to reply to some WhatsApp from an unknown number right now. So at that point, I have written to you saying that Sayan has told me this is happening. I'm a huge jazz fan. This, that, and the other. Can I come? And I waited on the platform for 15 minutes and I got really sad. I was like, this is not going to happen. Like you said with him, that ye nahi hone wala. I texted Sayan saying ye nahi hone wala. It doesn't make sense for me to come back from Vishwavidyalaya and then find out I can't enter the space. So then I got back into the metro and I reached Jahangirpuri. And underground wahan pe signal nahi aata hai, but when I reach Jahangirpuri, I get a text reply from you saying, Aaja. That's it. You just wrote one word saying come. And I had my suitcase and everything with me. I told my friends there at the shuttle service, I told them, you take it to campus with you, I'm going back. So I took a cab, I rushed back. I missed the first song, but I was there through the gig after that. And I got to meet him afterwards. No, but it was just amazing to me. And that day was just like, after I met him, I mean, I was always a jazz fan, but after I met him, and I spoke to him, and that night, I'm sure I cried that night when he was playing. Like it was like the level of silence in the whole place, and just the aura that he created.
Yeah. It was
like slightly.
So that's why there's a reason why we didn't advertise that show.